What up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 Experience with myself, Thomas Mabaso. The DA clashes with Ramaphosa over Putin arrest. I mean, guys, this is the big story right now. As we know that the BRICS summit is coming closer. Next month, the BRICS summit will be held here in South Africa, and all the leaders from the BRICS countries, I mean China, Brazil, Russia, South Africa, and India would be here, and they would be discussing how would the BRICS work forward. So the big question that has been asked right now is, will South Africa arrest Vladimir Putin? As everybody knows that the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has issued out an arrest for Vladimir Putin. So in South Africa, the opposition party, the official opposition party, who the DA, they are in favor of this motion that South Africa, as the member of the ICC, should arrest Vladimir Putin if he comes to South Africa. So as an individual, I know that this has nothing to do with South Africa. This has nothing to do with the DA. This has everything to do with the war that has been fought right now in Ukraine, the Russia and Ukraine war. But everybody knows that it is the Russia versus American war, because Ukraine right now is just been used as a proxy. So I believe that even the ICC has been used as a proxy right now to actually issue out this warrant of arrest. So the DA has been doing a lot of talking. We saw that even their mayor there in the Western Cape, Alan Winde, has said that if Vladimir Putin lands in Cape Town, he will make sure that he is arrested. But what they are saying is actually contrary to the ruling party and the ANC and the South African government, because South African government believe that they should be excused. Everything that has to do with the ICC and the arresting of Vladimir Putin, they should be put aside so that this BRICS summit can happen and so that everything can go well for South Africa. So you can ask yourself as a person that why is the DA so interested in actually the arrest of Vladimir Putin? Why is the DA so interested in the arrest of Vladimir Putin? That is a big question. Because everybody knows how the BRICS is going to work, and the issue of one currency. I mean, like, even the issue of one currency, I think it's one thing that is actually being fought right here. I mean, like, it's one fight that is not being spoke about, but that is actually what's been happening right now, because we know that the de-dollarization has been happening a lot in the world right now. We see many countries are actually dumping the dollars and they are starting to trade with their own currency. We saw that China and Russia, they're starting to trade with yuan, and we also saw that Brazil and Argentina, they are no longer trading in US dollars. And we also saw a speech from the Kenya President William Ruto talking about the fact that they no longer going to use the dollar when they trade with their neighbors. So that's exactly what's been happening right now. And with the issue of BRICS at hand, they know that if this meetings happens, the one thing that is going to be spoke about is the issue of dollar, and how the world is actually going to move away from the dollar, because the world right now is actually being forced to move away from the dollar based on the fact that the United States government is actually using the same dollar to launch a war on whoever will not execute or actually listen to what they are going to say. So they know that when the BRICS summit happen, one of the biggest conversations will have to be the new currency. And if that new currency comes into part, the US dollar will no longer be as effective as it is right now. We can actually see what's been happening right now as the countries are ditching the US dollar. Even the inflation right there is hitting them really hard. So the question of Vladimir Putin and whether he will be arrested or not is one thing that has been happening a lot. And the president of South Africa and the South African government, they've actually said that Russia actually told them that arresting Vladimir Putin would be a declaration of war. But I think that is something that was not even needed to be said. I think if you are going to arrest the president of any country in the world, that is a declaration of war. So this question of whether Vladimir Putin will be arrested or not, it's one question that is been drove a lot by the DA. So a lot of people are asking themselves, so why is the DA so interested? Why does the DA work so hard to actually see this thing through? So I'm going to play you a video right now talking about the same thing. This video, I saw it on ENCA and I thought it was going to be very valuable to what we are going to talk about today. So
all right, big viewer question this morning. Really do want to get your thoughts on this one. It's an international relations issue with a lot of local consequences potentially. So here's what it is. President Ramaphosa has told the High Court in Gauteng via an affidavit that arresting Russian President Vladimir Putin on South African soil, if the Russian president were to come here for BRICS later this year, would essentially be a declaration of war against Russia. If you go further into this particular story, it's all to do with the fact that our government believes arresting a sitting government is a big issue and could be this declaration of war. Of course, the Democratic Alliance disagreeing with that as well, but it's your show. You get to have your say. I want to get your thoughts. Just three options for you, nice and easy on our website, enca.com. What's your opinion? Option one, yes, it is a declaration of war. Option two, nope, it is not. And option three, I don't know. And that's okay if you don't know, but it's a very, very complicated story to follow. You're dealing with international law. You're talking about the International Criminal Court, international arrest warrants, our own sovereignty as a country, etc. So it is a complicated one, but I do want to get your thoughts. Option 1, 2, or 3, what is it for you? Go vote. Now, Twitter and Facebook, that's where I want to get some context from you. What do you think is really going on here? What do you think should really happen? Tweet us at ENCA and Facebook, ENCA News. Go follow, go subscribe, go hang out on their pages. It's a good place to be.
So, guys, what do you think? Because personally, I think that is the declaration of war. And I honestly don't believe that South Africa has anything to gain from this. I don't believe that we have anything to gain from this. I'm saying that because I don't believe in anything ICC. Like even today, like I'm still wondering why is South Africa still a member of the ICC? Because the ICC is biased. Why is South Africa the member of the ICC? Why are we still the member of the ICC when the ICC is so biased? I mean, you remember, like, if you were watching that interview of Julius Malema and the BBC guy, when Julius Malema was telling this guy that if the ICC is going to arrest people because of violations of human rights, maybe they should start with these American presidents who've been invading countries for a long time. Why are they not issuing out arrests for those people? And at the same time, why does it look like the ICC is actually working for the same people who are not the member of the ICC? Like, it's crazy that the ICC, it seems to be working for the American government, but actually the American government, like, does not even subscribe to anything the ICC. Like, they've actually told them that American officials will not be stopped by ICCs, they will not be asked questions, and they will never be arrested by the ICCs. So why does the USA believe a lot in ICC if they are not even the member of the ICC? Man, that is a big question. That is a big question, guys. And in South Africa, guys, even the thing of like Jacob Zuma, I believe that the matter of Jacob Zuma was brought because there are people in South Africa who don't want to see this summit happen. And they knew that if we go after Zuma, if we arrest Zuma, we know what happened in South Africa when Jacob Zuma was arrested. If maybe there are such unrest in the country, maybe it's not so safe to host the ICC to host the BRICS summit in the same country that has a lot of unrest. But thankfully, Jacob Zuma is in Russia right now for medical reasons, so they can't actually go out there and arrest him. So they turn their target and pointed at Ramaphosa. They want to force Ramaphosa to arrest Vladimir Putin. And as South Africa, what are we going to gain from all of this? There's nothing, like there's absolutely nothing that we can gain from all of this. The only question is, why are we still the member of the ICC? Why are we still the member of the ICC? And why is the DA against the BRICS summit so much? Is it that they still want to see South Africa still under the thumbs of the Americans? They still want to see us trading in US dollar? They still want to see us vulnerable to sanctions? I mean, why is the DA so interested in this? Isn't this a good thing for us as a country right now?
Attention right now, Dr. Mthembu, is on this confidential affidavit that the president has had to make public. And in it, he's worried that should South Africa make any attempt at arresting the Russian leader, the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, made it clear that this would be a declaration of war. Is South Africa's president well advised to be concerned about that?
So I think, whatever the position that South Africa has, let's say pertaining to the arrest warrant, the reality here is that you are dealing with one of the great powers of the world. You're dealing with a nuclear superpower. So it's not a small matter to arrest a sitting head of state of any country. But it's even, greater consequences, obviously, if you are dealing with one of the great powers. And here you're talking about Russia, you're talking about China, you're talking about a country like the United States. I think even the United States itself would think very carefully before it arrested a sitting head of state of a nuclear superpower, because
I mean, like, if these guys want Putin so much, why don't you go out there and arrest him yourselves? Because we know that's exactly what the Americans want. They want to see Vladimir Putin so that they can go and destroy Russia. They know that this is one man who's actually standing in their way. They know that Vladimir Putin is standing in their way. And they don't like the fact that at this very moment, Vladimir Putin is crushing Ukraine. They are supplying Ukraine with all the missiles in the world. They are supplying them with all the weapons in the world. But they are still losing the fight. So I believe that the other thing that is we are going to be promised, I think before even August, is the fact that if we don't arrest Vladimir Putin, South Africa will be sanctioned. I believe that. I believe that there will be threats of sanctions, which is the whole basis of BRICS, basically. Because I believe that before Vladimir Putin comes to South Africa will be told that if Vladimir Putin comes there and you don't arrest him, South Africa will be sanctioned. I believe that.
It knows that obviously it would be essentially declaring a war with that country. I think there is no ambiguity there. I think that is just the reality of global politics.
And hypothetically, man, let's say we arrest Vladimir Putin and these guys, they send missiles our way. Will the same international community stand with us fighting these guys off? Do you believe that if we were to arrest Vladimir Putin today and the Russians says, okay guys, we are going to war with these people, do you think the same West will actually stand with us in fighting these people off? And do we really want a war? Do we really want a war? I believe in, like, maybe some people they only talk about wars, man. They don't search these things. They don't go, like, maybe someday, man, just go on YouTube and search, man, and look at how people are living when the war is happening and after the war is happening. It's not something that we want as South Africans. I mean, like, we've only had our freedom for only, like, what, 30 years? And a war in South Africa right now will be worse than apartheid. Mind you, a war with Russia. Who would stop them? Because right now, the same America right now, the West, they already don't like us right now, due to the fact that we are in BRICS. And if we were to turn our backs on the BRICS, the West have already turned their backs on us. So which alliance are we going to go with? So I believe that the whole let's arrest the Vladimir Putin thing has been, like, as South African, we are being used right now. We are being used. There's nothing to gain from this, man. There's nothing to gain from arresting Vladimir Putin. What is it are we there to gain? We are there to gain nothing. And of course, arresting a sitting president is a declaration of war. Mind you, a president who is so hated by the West. So I think, like, this was a perfect answer from Ramaphosa to the DA, that, guys, this thing is not so easy. This thing is not so easy. It's not just like arresting a regular, ordinary someone working the industries. This thing is not so easy. This is the sitting president of the Russian Federation. Russia, one of the nuclear superpowers. I mean, like, I don't even want to talk about our military guys. So, like, just imagine if our South African military have to go against these Russian guys, man. Just imagine if our military were to go against these Russian guys, man. Hey, man, they would show us flames. With Abu Mabena. With Abu Mabena, you know, sometimes when you watch these things that are happening internationally, when you see countries invading each other, when you see countries actually beefing up their security, beefing up their militaries, and you watch South Africa, man, and you watch our military, man. You watch these guys that we live with here in the townships, the military guys, man. Sometimes you just look at someone and be like, damn, man, you will never protect me. I mean, like, most of these people, they are drinking, they are smoking, they are not fit. They are just having a good time, Nje. We just have, like, they're just having a good time. And Malema said something so important, that the BRICS group, we need to start having an embassy, so that we can stop saying that Vladimir Putin comes to South Africa, so that we can know that Vladimir Putin comes to BRICS, just like an embassy, just like an American embassy. That is not South Africa. Once you step in that American embassy, you are no longer in South Africa. I think the BRICS group, like, they really need to have an embassy. Somewhere these international laws, they don't just apply. Because we know that even the South African police, you can't just walk into the American embassy and start arresting people there, man. This is one thing that they really need to look at, man. And can you imagine if South African military, they are not even fit, man. Like, man, South African military, they can't, man, we can't fight a war right now. How many soldiers does South Africa have? How many soldiers does South Africa have right now? How many soldiers? Let me see. The country ranks third strongest military in Africa, dropping first in 2022 and is behind Egypt first and Algeria 2 on the African continent. South Africa has about, guys, 40,200 active and 12,500. Guys. We don't even have like 60K. We don't have like 60,000. And in Russia, they have hundreds of thousands of soldiers there. So the biggest question is like, why is the DA so interested in this? Why does the DA want South Africa to arrest Vladimir Putin so much? Or is it the fact that South Africa, we like right now, there's a huge possibility of us moving away from the dollar. There's a huge possibility from us, like, because if you no longer trade in US dollars, I think people don't understand, like, if you no longer trade in US dollars, like the Americans, they find it very hard to sanction you because you are not using their currency. Even like, there's a video there of a Republican senator, I think it's Marco Rubio, talking about like a lot of countries, they are moving away from the dollar, which makes it impossible for the United States to sanction them. They are actually worried that a lot of people are moving away from the dollar, which makes it impossible for the United States to sanction them. So as a South African, do you want us to continue living in a state where we are what? In the state where someone can just come and sanction you just because you don't do what you have been told. Didn't we learn anything from Zimbabwe? Even till today, Zimbabwe is still poor. Zimbabweans are scattered all over Africa. Zimbabweans are scattered all over the world. So didn't we learn anything from Zimbabwe? So do you believe that we should live there? We should stay being the puppets of the West. We should continue trading with dollar. We should continue doing everything that we have been told to do. I mean, like, the BRICS group is already shaking the world. There are already over 30 countries that have applied to be part of BRICS. And you know why? It's not because of security. It's not because of the AI. It's not because of all of these things. It's because of people are sick and tired of trading with the US dollar. People are sick and tired of being threatened to be sanctioned if you don't do this, if you don't do that. People are sick and tired of that. I mean, even right now in America, they are mad as hell because I think India and Saudi Arabia, they've agreed to now trade in Indian rupees. So there's a shift, there's a movement that is happening, and as South African, we can't just stand there. So, like, this is what I mean, like, guys, you know, like, I really have a problem with the ANC. I don't like the ANC. I don't like the ANC. But I can vote for Ramaphosa to maintain this BRICS thing that has been going on. I mean, like in 2024, the only parties that I'm going to consider are the parties that are going to talk in favor of BRICS. If you don't talk in favor of BRICS, I will not look at you. If you talk of independence from the US dollar, if you talk of anything against the BRICS, I will not give you a look. Well, that's how I'm going to approach the whole 2024 thing. I will not give you a look because I believe what's happening right now internationally and how the world is moving. I believe that is more important than what's been happening right now in the country. Man, the world is getting dangerous and dangerous. The world right now is getting dangerous. And because of that, I want South Africa to be at the place where it's strong. I don't want to see us weak. I don't want to see us weak. So we don't have anything to gain from arresting Putin, man. Let's just be honest, guys. We don't have anything to gain from arresting Vladimir Putin. There is nothing to gain. It's all trouble. It's all trouble. And of course, it's a declaration of war. And based on the military size, we are not even we can't even fight these people. So guys, do you want to see us continue trading with the US dollar? Or do you want to see us independent from all of it? And watch and mark my words, before August comes, South Africa will be threatened with the sanctions. Before August comes, South Africa will be threatened with sanctions. That's how desperate these people are. So guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section, and please don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notifications whenever I drop new content. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.